Good evening, everyone. I'm Satish here from Pragyan AI to start the session. So this is a sixth session actually. Like we have completed 5 sessions in last week. This is the first session in this week actually. So before start, I just wanted to remind it is a part of a boot camp, and in the first few sessions we covered what is the importance of Python and some kind of objects and some kind of fundamentals of the Python, and then we covered about expressions, input output operators, control flow, and in the last class we covered about functions. So in functions actually, like there was some more models are left out. Those models we'll be covering, so we were not able to complete the entire thing in that last session. So we there were few things which are left out was lambda one, and other functional programming concepts like map, reduce, and filter. So we'll cover those things and then move on to the next session, which is about collections. So means like in these sessions after that, like we'll start looking into some of the collections called string, list, tuples, and dictionary. So we'll start with strings. So if you have any questions in the last previous sessions, let me know. So if you don't have sessions, then we'll start with the lambda. Anybody has any questions in the last few sessions? Okay. So in last class, we looked into what is called function. So functions, what we look actually how to define a user defined function. So one version of that function is called lambda. So the only difference between that function and the lambda function is actually this is also called anonymous function. Why we call anonymous? Anonymous means like who doesn't have a name. So for example, anonymous name means like who hides his real names, actually something that like who not doesn't represent. So this function lambda function is called anonymous function. So if you have seen the function proper definition, so it will be def and then the function name will be there. So def and function name and the list of arguments it is to take and the colon. So in the anonymous function, there is no called function name, but to mention to say that this is a function, we should have some kind of a keyword, because how should the interpreter or compiler understands it is a function? So they should have some keyword, and that keyword is lambda. So it uses a keyword called lambda. And how is the syntax? So for lambda function syntax, lambda and the arguments. So if you see here, actually the how the syntax will be def for normal function, def the name and then the bracket. So if you see here, actually lambda space arguments and colon, then the expressions. Expression is an equation or something that like. So this is the syntax. So syntax is very important. You should be remembering what is that syntax for that function. So how it exactly, if you see lambda arguments and colon expressions. So like to see the example, lambda is a keyword, then you see the space, and this is an argument. It's like it will take one argument that is of called a, and then using that. So this is like, see usually like how it is the function here, like if I have to define function name arguments, and then this is a function, what all the things we should do, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, something that like multiple statements, and then return, that is optional. But in this case there is no return, there also without return also fine, there is no definition, and there is no name, this name is not there, this name is converted into lambda, and this arguments there is no brackets but there is a space, and this colon is there, this colon is there, but this all other things which is indented for the next line will be here, and that is only one statement, not multiple statements. So if you see, compare that difference and this difference, like def and the name, this is assumed that like name, arguments and colon and multiple statement, correct, multiple statement. So if you can check this actually, so lambda function, so if you see the lambda function, this is not there. So name, this is no name here, anonymous name. What is anonymous name? Lambda is anonymous name. So now the bracket, there is a space and the arguments. you can also have that. Then the colon, this colon is there here. So instead of multiple statements, 1, 2, 3, 4, so like there is one statement, one expression. So I hope you understood. So how to transform from this kind of like, if it is lambda is not suitable if there is a multiple lines of statements are there. So that is not that useful for, and it will be very confusing kind of things. So, and I hope you understood the syntax of the lambda. So syntax of the lambda and why it is called anonymous function. So see here actually, like if you wanted to see how it exactly executed. So let me show you how exactly it is executed. See something like this. If you see here actually, so this is my Google Colab. So I'll just wait for some time because it is connecting. So now it is connected. Now I can use it. So X, so why, what is this actually? This is whatever this function returns, I'm assigning here. So whatever this function returns, I'm assigning here. And what is that variable X I'm assigning? And what is this actually represents? So it is something that like we discussed in last class also. See, this function, I am trying to assign to some variable. So we discussed in that in the last class also, something like this, if you have seen here. So argument to function assign to a variable. So we discussed about how to assign a function to a variable. So the function name assigned to variable, something similar to that we are trying to do here actually. We are trying to assign this whole thing to a variable called X. Now, sometimes later on, if you wanted to access that, I am trying to access using X. And this needs one variable or argument. So that is what I'm passing. So this is X is a function name. This is alias for this. And using this, I am trying to do. So if how it works, so if you have attended last class, like I would have explained actually how you can assign a function to a variable. So something similar to that actually. So here it is happening and we are calling it. So any question here? Anybody has not understood the syntax of the lambda? Why it is called anonymous, and how to define a lambda function and call a lambda function. So this is a defining a lambda function. This one is that here I'm calling the lambda function. X in bracket 5 I'm trying to say this, I'm calling the lambda function. Anybody has any question? If you run it actually, like what exactly it is doing now? So it is taking value A, then what is that actually? A plus 10. So A plus 10 is 15 and that 15 is written and that will be printed. It's fine. So if you say that like without passing, like, so if without passing any arguments, like no question comes actually like why it is. See if you do that one and we just call the F. So F is the function name. So if you see actually F is not a variable, it's a function and of lambda. So if you see here actually it's a function. F is a function. So if you pass the value, then only it will work. So see if here I am trying to pass, because why I'm trying to pass two values. So lambda will take two variables, X comma Y. So it takes there are two arguments. So I'm passing. So 3 is assigned to X, 4 is assigned to Y. So 2 into X is 2 into 3 is 6 plus 4. So that is a 10. That is how you got a 10. So any question? Anybody has not understood this first and the second? Same thing. Now what I'm trying to do actually. So here again I'm doing V. So see this difference and this difference. There is a difference, little bit differences there. So what I'm trying to do is actually here I'm trying to call a function. Now what I'm trying to do is along with that also I'm trying to pass a variable. So this is something like a default argument, something I'm trying to do. But this doesn't work out because this is whole thing is like this X is not the function. So we cannot pass for the text. The whole thing is a function. This whole thing is a function. For this function, if this is an argument I'm passing on, but is something that like, see what is that? If you see that actually, see when I say V is when I say F represents this whole function, correct? So when, say, let me say that actually, like let me write here. So when I say something that like X is equal to, I'll take X is equal to, assume that like this is lambda and A and colon A plus 10. So when I say X, so this X is not individual. The X is something that like if is a indication of this. So this is lambda actually, I'm just written A. So this is something completely this. So when I say X comma something 5, so means like for this function, I am trying to pass here, I am trying to pass 5. So means like for this, I'm trying to pass here. So what is that actually? This is number of argument I'm passing, and this expects the same argument, and then it loses it actually. But in the first, this statement, I'm not doing that way. So if you see here actually, I am bracketing this, but that bracket is for only X, not for the whole function. So that is a different. So in the second thing, I'm trying to bracket it actually, and then I'm trying to do. So what I'm trying to do actually, I'm also passing the default value. So I'm passing a default value and I'm executing it actually. Default value also you got in the last class. Like it's like this doesn't take any value from the things. Like by default it will have some value and it will be taking that value and it will be executing. Any question here? Anybody has not understood the difference between the first and second? This one and this one. Okay, so we'll execute one by one. So if you don't understood, so if you have any questions, let me know, because this lambda is very important concept. So if you have any questions, let me know. Anybody is not understood how to define a lambda function and how to call a lambda function? Okay. Okay. So next thing which we will be covering. So apart from this lambda function, there are two more functions are there in functional programming. One is called map, another is called reduce. So what is the map? So actually, like when the name itself says something that like it is mapping for something and something. So we'll see that like what exactly map is there. So if you see this example, so define, add, this is a pure function definition. What I'm trying to is I'm trying to define an add function. So I'm trying to define an add function. If you see here, actually, I'm trying to define an add function which will take one argument and it will add +1 x +1 and returns the return value. So this is the add function. So this is a add function. So now what exactly the map function? So now if I have to add one element, like so for example, if I have to add one element, I will pass this function. It's like I have to add one. So I will pass one and then it will add and come back one by one, one by one. Like for example, if I have to add, see for example, what happened is actually like somebody, see there are in a company like around 1000 people are there. So company has announced their salary or bonus, you can say salary or a bonus is increased by 10 rupees, or sorry, I'll say 10, not 10 rupees, 10k, 10,000 rupees. So now what is that actually? Then you should be taking the salary of there are 1000 no first employee and his salary may be something like X, then you will be adding 10k, then 10k, then second employee, so X2, so then you will be adding 10k. So this how you will be doing? So now you will be defining a function def, so add salary, then the variable what you are trying to add. So that is always constant, correct? So you will be reading the employee salary and x is equal to x plus something and returning that. So this is a function you are trying to do. Now one by one you can do, correct? So how many times you should be doing? So 1000 times. How should you do that then? To do that actually, then for loop, then you will be looping that. So unnecessary, why should we do that another for loop? See, one is I have defined a def a function to add salary, add bonus or something that like this will take an argument and does it actually the salary plus whatever the salary you are passing plus 10k, and that is what is it will return. So it will return. So this is one. And then for 1000 employee, what I will be doing? For I in range. So what is the range? Range is 10,000, 1000, correct? So range is 1000 means like it will create 1000 thing. And then I am trying to call this function so many times. What is that actually? I will be calling this add with I. So I is the employee something, the correct? So employee salary. So whatever it may be. So assume that like what's employee? So this is salary of an employee. So how should I get a salary of employee? So somewhere else a list of a salary is there. So something that like a salary employee list is there. So this is a list if I have. So then I will be doing what is actually one by one I will be trying to collect. No? So salary, I will be defining. So it's like first employees first salary will be at first location. So something that like 1 lakh. Then second employee salary will be at second location in the list. Third employee something that like. So now I will be passing that list. So then after this one, whatever I'm trying to get is like the new salary. So this way I should be doing it repetitively. So instead of that, how should I do in a single go? So how should I do the single go? Using something called a map function. So what is that map function does actually? The map function does the repetitions. Like, so what is the function in the map? So it will take a map is the keyword. It will take the map name and the function which you wanted to call repetitively. So function which you wanted to call repetitively, and iterables is the number of elements you wanted to pass to that. First time first element, second time second element, third means like so means like you will be calling that. So the simple thing is actually map add, and that is a function name, and then the list of the things. Like, so in this case actually, if I have to do same thing here, how should I have done actually? I would have done map salary additions, add salary add bonus is a function name, add bonus is on that, and then salary is a list of the employees, correct? So now I will be passing this. Means like what happens actually, this function is called for one element. Like, so first employee salary is at one location, correct? 1 lakh, 2 lakh, something like that. So it will take one value and pass on to that, then call that function, and whatever the resulted will be stored. So again another value, then again the call the function. It's like automatically it is done. So instead of you doing you creating an add function and then looping and then all those things, no, the map function does actually. Map is actually first side function, and second time iterables. Means like this function will be called how many times there is, how many elements are there in iterables. Like, so for example, in this iterables, for this is iterables, like if you see here actually, this is a list. The second one is a list. In that list 4 elements are there. So means like this map will call this add function 4 times actually. So 4 times with each individual different values, and whatever the return value, whatever the result will be stored and outputted. So if you wanted to see that like how exactly works, you can see here actually how exactly the map works. So if you see here actually, this is how the map function works. So if you still not understood like how exactly the map works, like what we will be doing, we will be seeing in the virtually how exactly this will map function will be executed. So we'll see that like how exactly it will be executed, and we'll see how exactly it runs it actually one by one. So any questions here? Anybody has any question here? Anybody is not understood map function? Okay, visually we see how exactly this map function is executed. So we'll see how exactly this map function is executed. So if you type here, so this is a first statement. I have created a function. So then that takes 2 arguments. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a map instance. So I'm trying to create a map instance. Now I'm trying to call that X actually. So when I do the X actually, then the start executing the X thing. So it's like it will keep on calling the functions one by one, and it will try to build the result. So any questions here? See, I hope you understood. Like, see, only thing what you should be remembering is actually map is the function which will map between a function and iterables. Means like how many iterables are there, those informations will be passed on, and it will execute it actually. Any questions here? Any questions? Okay. So the next thing we'll be looking into is actually function called reduce. So what is a function called reduce? So if you have already done some kind of a mathematical equation or reduce a equation or something that like, no, so x to power something like, so this is one equation, then you will be reducing and simplifying that equation, correct? So means like reducing of that equation means like what we'll be doing. So for example, 2 star 3 plus 4 divided by 2, then plus 3 then into is equal to 4. This is the equation. Then If you wanted to reduce, how will be reducing? Then first you will be multiplying this, then it becomes 6, then you will be dividing, then that will become 2, then this is 3. So now what is that actually? 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 6 is 11, 11 into 4. So this is 11 into 4. So now I've reduced into, I made it a 44. Means like this is how you will be calculating. That is called reduce function. No, so this is the equation, and then you will reduce it and simplify into a single value. So something similar to that the reduce function does. So what the reduce function does actually, if I give a parameters, like, so for example, this is part of a library called function tools. So now what I am trying to do is actually import the function tools, and I have defined a function called mult x and y. So in the mult function, that print x is equal to x, y is equal to what, and I am trying to multiply x and y and returning. So what I'm trying to do is actually, for this reduce function, I am passing a function name called whatever the function I'm trying to do, and then I am trying to send iterables. What is the iterables is like which I am trying to pass. So for example, in this case, what I am trying to send is actually, for this function, I am trying to pass the value from 1 to 4. So means like first 1 by 1 by 1 by value I'm trying to send, and then what it will do, so it will take two values and it will multiply and it will send it actually. So it will be reducing. So it will reduce and it will come into single thing. So like what, like, so let me show you in an example how exactly this reduce functions works actually. So now in this case, see the same thing which I'm trying to do here, correct? So now first what I have done actually, in the first, when I say 1 to 4, so first I have sent 1 to 2. So 1 into 2, it is multiplied and I will get it back. Then I have second time I have passed 2 and 3. So 2 and 4 is multiplied, 2 and 3 is multiplied and got. So 1 and 2 is multiplied. What is the value? 1 and 2 is equal to 2. Then 2 into 3. So much like I am multiplying, correct? So then I am trying to get that. So what is that value? 2 into 3 is equal to something like a 6. So what is that I am trying to pass is actually first, like, so how things are happening. So first the list is 1, 2 and 3. Since like list is up to 4, correct? So 3. So first I will pass these two. So 1 and 2. So then what is the result? The result is becomes 2. So the next time what I will be passing, this 2, whatever is reduced here, along with the new element. That what is that new element is a 3. So then what will happen? Again it will multiply and it will give 6. So assume that like we have another element 4. So then next time I will be passing 6 into 4. So if you wanted to see that like how it exactly happens, so instead of 4, if I'm make into 5, so you see that like there is a 3 times iteration, 1 and 2, then it will be multiplied, and next time that result value 2 into the next element 3, then that 2 and 3 is equal to 6, then result value and the next element, because range will give 1 to 4, correct? So range will give 1 2 3 4. So first it will send 2 because there is no result, correct? So then reduced value, the reduced value is 2, and along with this 2, the new element. So then again the reduced value means like after multiplying becomes 6. So this 6 with this 4. So this is how the reduce function works out. So any questions here, like how reduce function works? Anybody has a question here? Okay, so if you want to see, you can also see visually. So the next function is called filter function. What exactly this filter function does? So now, now if you look at, actually I have defined a list and I have defined a function. So now what I'm trying to do is actually I'm trying to create a filter, this function and is, so as adults. So now what I'm trying to is actually like one by one I'm trying to execute. So if you see here actually, let me show, see this adult, what happens actually, like first function, and I have passing the value. What is the value for 5? So if it is for 5, this is not there, so nothing. So this function will be returned only when the executing, like the true values are like return true or things are come, then only it will get the result. So wherever there is a true, so for example for 5 it is false, so that is not printing here, that is not come. It's like this filter is actually like filter is, it does something similar to the map, but only the difference here is actually it only retains the value where exactly the value, the function gives the true result, not the false result. So in this case, even though my function get passed 5, So 5 is less than 18, so it goes here for thing. And 12 is less than 18, so it will go here false. So I'm not printing that, I'm not storing that. And 17 is less than 18, it goes into false, I'm not doing. So 18 is not less than 18, correct? So it is true, so then it will come here. 18 is or something that like, so it's like it is trying to return the result which is true. So it is trying to return a result which is true. So means like where the return value is true, only those values will be returned. So it will store. So filter is actually like filter towards like something that like if I'm trying to say actually something that like one person say that like I have a ear, I only listen the positive sentiments. I don't reject all negative sentiments. So filter is something that like, so I have a filter to my ear, which will only listen positive things. All negative words I will be discarding. So something like that. Like, so we have a filter which only takes a positive thing. So this function is something like that. It only returns or results into positive values. So any questions on the filter? Anybody has any questions on the filter? Fine. So the difference between the other thing and this filter is actually like it has a which one to like a map will do everything. So but here only the positive things where the result is true. Any question here? Okay, so this ends some of the advanced functions. Like these are the advanced functions actually: lambda, map, reduce, and filters. This is some kind of advanced Python thing. You can you get these kind of questions in some kind of a competitive, like they're testing your Python knowledge or like interviews, all those things. No, these are the advanced things. So if you have any questions, let me know. So I hope you understood what is the map and what is the lambda, what is the map, and what is the reduce, and what is the filter. Fine. Okay. So we'll continue to the next session. The next session, what we will be covering is actually the collections. I said no. So we completed. See if you see here, actually, like we completed the functions and advanced functions. Now the next session is actually about collections. So as the name says, actually, what is the collection? Collection means like how much is your collection, what is your collection, how much stamp collection is like is a container which will store multiple elements. So collection is something that like a container which will store. Say so far what we discussed actually variable only stores one value, correct? Variable only stores, like, so for example, v is a variable and it can only store one value. It doesn't store more than value. So we also need some kind of data types which stores multiple values. So collections are the data types which will store multiple values. So that is what we will be discussing. So in Python, so this is like they will store multiple things. In Python, these are the what is called collections, actually, like tuple, string, list, set, and dictionaries are the type of collections. So Python supports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of collections. So in that, actually, what is the difference between these different collections based on how they functions? One is actually mapping. We'll discuss like when the why it is called the dictionaries are a mapping. There is something called a sequence. What is a sequence actually? Like if you already know about arrays. So if array is a collection, correct? Array is a collection. If I define array is a collection, if it has array has something that like 10 elements, like 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10. So if I have to access, actually, it is sequential, correct? So if I have to access, then I will be accessing one by one. So all this will be stored in memory location in a sequential fashion. So this will be like if array initial address is something that like this is a memory address where this array's initial values are stored, like so, then it will start from here. This is address from where array elements are stored, correct? So then one will be stored here, then second will be stored. This is the reason it is called a sequential. All the elements will be stored something that like, and you can access in a sequential. If you increment the element like one by one, so you will point initially the pointer is pointing here. If you increment, it will point here. It will increment, it will point here. So it will means like you can access, or you can either increment, either you can access something array. If you are from C background, so you can array name and the index, actually 1, 2, 3. So then you will be accessing. That is the reason all these kind of like something who supports those kind of sequential access, actually they are called sequences, actually. So mapping is something, dictionary is something different. if you just for the sake of like why this is different from the dictionary. So in a dictionary, how will search actually? So you will search for letter like no. So there is a one word, and then there is a reason for that, correct? That this meaning for that, like for example, good is a word, and then the colon and the meaning will be there. Like so there is a key and there is a value for that actually. So then this is mapping. So mapping between key and value means like if you search for a dictionary, so there a dictionary of a telephone is a dictionary, correct? So you look for a name of a person, and then along with in front of their name there is a telephone number. Means like there is a name is a key, and what is the value? The telephone number is the value. So this is mapping between key and value. So that is called its mapping. So we'll discuss in that detail in the detail later on. So that is the reason the dictionaries are called mapping kind of collections. So all called sequences actually. So sequences. In that we already discussed actually something like a immutable. What is meant by immutable and mutable in the previous classes? We discussed some collections are mutable, means like you can edit or you can change the values of those elements of those collections, and some are immutable, means like we can't change the values of those elements of a collection. So if we can't change it, then they are immutable. That we discussed in the previous class, immutable, mutable things, correct? So in the collections, this tuple and string are immutable, and list and sets are mutable. We'll discuss actually like one by one. We will be discussing in next subsequent classes. So anybody has not understood what is meant by collection, what is meant by sequences and mapping, and mutable, immutable? Any questions? Okay. The first thing what we will be discussing is actually about the strings. So since we a lot of times we use strings actually, so we'll discuss what all things we'll discuss actually. We already discussed what is strings actually. We'll see how to access the strings, and what kind of functions are available in the strings, and one by one we'll be discussing. So string, what is that? You already know actually, like the string is a collection of letters. Like so for example, if I have to define a string, so something that like Satish, if I have to create, so then I am trying to create a string. So either in the single quote, either it can be in a double quote. So either in single quote or a double quote. So what is that actually? See, it is a list of characters. Means like, so what is that actually? This string will have how many characters, how many elements actually? S is 1, A is 1, T is 1, E, so something that like, so these are the elements. Like, so if you see actually sequences of characters, it's like so many characters, each individual character is considered one element. So that is the reason string is a collection. So based on that word or like whatever statement or whatever it will be, so number of characters will be considered as means like consider individual elements as a whole thing as a list of characters, and that is called strings. So the what are the things it will have? It can have alphabets, it can have numbers, it can have a special characters. What are those some kind of special character? So special character is something like space is also special character, star is also special. It's like these are all different special characters actually. Either alphabets, either numbers. Numbers, alphabets is actually small a to z, capital A to Z, and 0 to 1, 0 to 9. These are all these are digits, these are alphabets. And also apart from that, like special characters. What are the special characters? Like space, all those things, like all other things are special characters. They're all characters actually. So anybody has not understood this actually, they're all called characters, and string can have any those kind of characters actually, and it can be in single quote or double quote, that we discussed. And we also discussed actually immutable. So why we call it immutable? So if you don't understand why it is we call the string as an immutable, we can look into. So for example, when I define a name, so I am defining a variable with some value, correct? So name, I am assigning a value. Pragyan A is the string I am assigning to the name. So now if I'm trying to print, so what is I'm trying to print? I'm trying to print the name and address where this is stored. So again, if I want to change this with the new value, so I'm changing it actually. See, if you see actual name, I'm reusing, but I'm changing the value. But so now if you see, if I'm able to change at the same location, I said discussed in the last class also, how the int is immutable. So if see this name is pointing to an location where I have stored something like a Pragnania, correct? So memory location where it is stored. So if I am since I'm using the same name to assign another value, means like I have instead of this one, I am assigning new value. If I am able to assign the new value at the same location, then it is a mutable. But in this case, what is happening is actually like if I print the address, so Pragnan AI is stored at this address, but when I assign new value, that is not stored in the same address. So if you see actually that this address is completely different. So it is last 4 digit. If you see actually 6496 here of 53 sorry 3408. So both are different. Means like I am not changing this value. I cannot change these values. But still, if you are not understood actually like whether it can be immutable, if you try to access that. So for example, name, I'm trying to access an individual character, that is p. See, for example, if you want to see that like what I'm trying to, I can access it actually. Like say if you wanted to see actually what I'm trying to access here, when I'm trying to access name is equal to 0, I'm getting p. But if you want to change this one actually, like you see that actually this, if I try to put something another value, so something that like s, so you won't able to change because I said string is immutable. So if you say that like type error, string object does not support item assignment, means like it is immutable. So it is not mutable. I hope you understood. Strings are immutable in nature, so we cannot assign. But what I have shown in the earlier here is when I assign something like this, so when I assign something like this different name, so they are not at the same address I'm modifying. I am creating another memory address and storing another value there. So I'm not changing. So string is immutable. Same thing we discussed. I have explained you in int, how int is immutable. So it is the same thing, similar to that. So any question here? So why string is immutable? Anybody is understood how string is immutable? Okay. The next thing is actually like see I said no. So first is what is a string? String is a sequence of characters we dot, and what all the values it can contain that we discussed, and how we can define a string also we discussed. How string is immutable also discussed. So next thing is actually like what we'll be discussing is actually what all the functions we can do, what kind of operations we can do, or what kind of inbuilt functions are there. Like I said in the first class that why Python is more popular, because so many inbuilt functions are there which can use it. No need to you no it, you don't need to write all those function yourself. Like for example, most of the times like if you are written if you are learn the C function programming, programming, they say actually like write a string and ask you to find out a length of a string. So length of a string, so if I give a string name, then variable, then I have to count how many elements are there in that string. But in the Python, so there is a function called, so there is a function called length that will give the how many characters are there in the string automatically. No need to like, just you have to call that. Then what is another function? Another function called min. What is the min? Means like if we assume that like you have so you have assigned something like a b c d e of something that like on string some string. So you wanted to see this is our independent characters, correct? These are independent characters. No, which one is a minimum character? Least minimum is minimum value, max is max value. So then see this is alphabet, then your question may come actually, how should I get a minimum and maximum value in that tab? Usually these all the strings, anything what you are trying to store as a string or other numerical numbers, everything will be stored in terms of a binary value, and everything will be numerical things. So how the exactly computer source is actually all these characters are stored as a ASCII characters with ASCII values. Means like they are ASCII characters with ASCII values. Like for example, instead of a represents what is ASCII value for a, so it is 65. Means you are typing a, but computer stores this a as a ASCII value 65. So if you are typing b, but b is capital B ASCII value, means like in the computer memory it doesn't no, it will be numerically it will be stored as 67. ASCII character is 66, b is 66, a is 65, c is 67. So alpha small letter has also ASCII character. So that is the reason, since like when I say I created in a list, actually if I created a list with a string with several names like so SAT EESH, if I do that one, actually this is a string. So now what are the elements are there in the string? So character wise, the S is capital S, then small letter A, then capital small t, then small e, then another small e, then another S, small s, and H. So if you see here actually, if I look for the minimum, which one will be the minimum? So if you see the ASCII character list actually, what is that actually? Capitals will be lesser. Like, so if you see that like capital has a lesser value compared to the smaller letters. So means like S is the one. So correct, all others are small letters, correct? So S will be the 83. So that will be the minimum. If I look for the minimum, S is the minimum, correct? So that is what it will give. So if you wanted to see that, like, so if you look for a name, so let me do that minimum with, okay, so let me do this. I have done with the Pragyan. So let me do name is equal to Satish. So now if I wanted to print min with the name and max with name. So max with the name. So what I'm trying to get actually, minimum is S, and maximum, if you see that characteristics actually, the ASCII values of small letters. So T is the last, correct? So T is highest. So after there is no T, nothing. H is less, correct? So T is highest. So if you see here actually, output S is the minimum and T is the maximum, because all other letters, like if you say S, A, T, there is nothing, no other small letter beyond the T. So that way, if you see here actually ASCII thing value, so there is nothing beyond T. So the T is the highest. So if we have U, then U was the maximum. If you would have Z would have maximum. Okay. So that way, min and maximum. Like, so you are not writing any function. You are using the pre-built functions supported by Python. So there are so many pre-built functions are there, but these are some of the main functions we'll be using: length, min, and max. And other than, if you wanted to see that, like what all the other kind of pre-built functions are there. So there is a list of pre-built functions are there. Like these are the list of pre-built functions supported by Python. So what we discussed is length, minimum, and maximum. Other than that, so many list of functions supported. But if you wanted to see that, like instead of remembering, and you wanted to see that, like how to know, how should I know that, like how many functions are there? What you can do is actually, this is a string, name is a string, correct? So of name, and if you do dot, and if you do tab, so see after dot, see after name, so you do that, so then automatically this list will come. See if you see here actually, automatically this list of functions supported. So all these are list of pre-built functions supported in Python. So all these, like, see, if you see here actually, this and this list is more or less same, correct? So this, instead, if you don't, no need to remember anything, just you have to do that name is a string, correct? So then if you do dot and then wait for some time, this Colab will list out all those functions or methods available on the string function, string variable, so string value, correct? So any questions here? So any questions on this, how to look into that? So anybody has any questions so far? Are you able to follow? Okay. The next thing what we look into, so what all things we looked into? So we looked into string and string methods, and a few methods we looked into. So the next thing what we'll be looking is actually, how can we do some kind of a string concatenation? So if you have to add, like, so usually in C functions, no, if you learn the C programming, they will ask concatenate two strings and something. So it is pretty easy in the Python. So if you have to concatenate two strings, how should we do in the C is completely tedious, no? So you should be going here and all those things, no? So if you have to concatenate these two strings, so something that like Satish and Pragyan, so then how should we do actually? Like, so it is pretty easy. So there is an operator called plus. So if you use a plus, you can do the string concatenation. A is a string, B is another string, and if you wanted to concatenate these two, concatenation means like adding two things actually. Like, so if I say that, like, I have to concatenate two strings, so one is this string, another is TESH, something that like another string. So concatenation is like joining together, TEESH. So this is a concatenation, it's like joining together. So how should I do? This is one string S1, and this is string S2. So how should I do? So if you wanted to know that actually, like what I will do, S1 is one string, so it will have SAT, then another S2 is another string, so EESH. So then how should I concatenate? So it's pretty easy. So S1 plus S2. So it is pretty easy here, because automatically it knows actually I'm trying to concatenate these two. So automatically, if you see that actually this is a concatenated. So in Python, using the plus operator, the plus operator is functional or operator overloaded, like it can do concatenation of two values. So do you can, anybody have any question here? How a concatenated string is pretty easy, correct? Is it easy or difficult? So concatenation of string is easy or difficult? Yes or no? Easy or difficult? Okay. So one point you should be knowing is actually when I'm trying to concatenate, so it doesn't give any in between space. If you are looking for a space, so something like that. So name plus some space plus something, then only you will get a space in between. Because when I say concatenation, it will be, see, the first here also I showed you it automatically there is no space. So it is just joining two things. It doesn't in between space, it won't give. So if you want a space, then you should be adding extra space. So any questions here? Hello? Are you able to follow? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So you people are there, correct? So, okay. So is it easy, no? In Python, like finding out a length of a string, finding out concatenating a string. So we will also see some more functions, some more operator based functions which you can work out. So if you wanted to create something like multiple names or like repetitions, like for example, you have created like, so you wanted to create 10 people with the name Satish. So how should we do? Or like you wanted to say something that like repeat something. So they see, just like the concatenation can be done using a plus, so multiplication means like repetition can be done using star. So if you see here the example, so Python into star, like, so you wanted to repeat this Python multiple times. So it's pretty easy. So you can do that actually, any name. So for example, name is equal to whatever the name I have given. So for that name will be repeated. So for example, if I'm giving Pragnani as a name, so I can repeat. So, or if you wanted to give another name, you can repeat any number of times, you can repeat. Like, so if you wanted to repeat 20 times, it will repeat 20 times. So if you wanted to see, this is how it happens. Like, because concatenation is done using the plus, and repetition will be done using the multiplications. So, and these are the two things you will look into. And other than that, like if you wanted to access a specific element, so how you are accessing an array. So how should we access an array? When I define an array, so, and array has so many elements, correct? When I define an array with a list of elements, correct? So now if you wanted to access like 1, 2, 3, 4, something that like, how you will be accessing array, and 0 for 0 will be the first element, correct? So how the array starts with a 0, and then array element number, element location or position 0. This is position 1, this is position 0, this is position 1, this is position. The same thing in the string also. When I say a is a string, so then I am trying to assign a string here. So then if I have to access an element, so these are all each, so how many elements are there? So if you wanted to know how many elements are there, length of that will give. So in this case, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements are there. So total 7 elements. And what is the position of S? Position of S is 0. Position of A is 1. Position of T is 2. So position of E is 3. So position of another is 4. Then a position of 5, S is 5. Position of H is 6. So if you wanted to access this one, so then how should you be accessing? A into 1. So this is called string slicing. So slicing was like, I'm slicing, I'm see how many elements are there, those many slices I have already created, automatically created, and in that which slice I am trying to select. So specific slice. So that is like I'm slicing the string and taking individual or whatever multiple elements. So those, that concept is called string slicing. We'll discuss actually how can we do a slicing and how can we access the element. So what is the syntax here to slice in a string? So string name, this will be the name of a string, and then there is a starting bracket actually. So there is a bracket, and in the bracket there is first number is a start position, that is a start position, and then the colon, and then the colon, and then the end position. So end position, this is excluded, so it is not included. I will discuss what is excluded included later on. And then there is a colon, there is a colon, and then that is called step. So step will be there. So this is optional, this is optional, and other things also optional. Okay, so but this is optional. So now first we look into letter. Like, so for example, it has a I said no, S is there, A is there, and T is there, and another T is there, and another T is there, another S is there, and H is there. So now if I wanted to access only these two, how should I go? Starting position is, this is position is 0, this position is 1. So start position is 1, so I should be getting 1, and this position is 2. So 2 means like it should be excluded, I said, correct? So means like this T I should be getting, means like it should be included. So what is excluded? This is excluded, correct? Outside that block. So 3 means like I should be saying start position is 1, but end position is 3. So 3 is excluded up to 3. So it is something that like end means like up to 3. So up to 3 means like from position 1 up to 3 is 80. And step by default it will be 1. So step means like one on element. If I say step element is equal to 2, then it will take one element, and after that like it will jump into the one, skip it, and another element. But that element is outside, so only S will be printed. If I say start 1 colon 3, then I will get 80. If I say 1 colon 3, then 2, then T is not possible because I can't access next. The next one is the E, but E is out of that actually, correct? The end. So only A will be printed. So this is how I will be accessing the element. So for example, if let me give a name here. So the name is equal to Pragyan. If I give name is equal to Pragyan. So now what is the list? Like if you wanted to see that, like what is the length of the string, so you can see the length of the name. One is I have allocated name and length is 10. So the P is 0th location, R is 1 location, A is 2 location. If I give 0 to 2, means like 2 is excluded. So 0 and 1. So what is 0 and 1? 0 is P, 1 is R. So 0, 1 or 0, 1 will give, so PR. So if you see here, actually, this is what we got. So if I say another way, like 1, and when I doesn't give value here, so what I'm trying to say here actually, when I say the start position is 1, and when I don't give the end position, means like it is up to end of that string. So it is up to end of that string. So if you see here, actually, when I given the start position, but I have not given the end position. So means like it will start from 1. What is the position 1? R. It will start from R up to end of string. So if you print here, actually, it will start from R, then see R and end of the string. So end of string is like up to I, correct? Capital I. So or if I don't want to say what is the start position, so what is the other thing what I'm trying to say actually, here I'm giving colon and 4. So what I'm trying to say actually, I'm not giving the start. When I'm not giving the start, by default start position is 0. So means like up to 4 means like 0, 1, 2 and 3. So on up to 3. So 4 is excluded, correct? So means like elements at location 0, 1, 2, 3 will be looked into. So in this case, which are the 0, 1, 2, 3? So this is P is 0, R is 1, A is 2, G is 3. So up to PRG. So up to this, it will print. So if I don't give the start or I don't give the end, so if I say any letter, I'm not giving start and I'm not giving end. So when I'm not giving anything, that will be default. So start default position is 0, end default position is end of the string. So means like at the end. So means like if I do something like this, it is as good as I'm trying to print entire string, correct? So, and anybody has not understood how to access elements in a string? So what is the see, colon is the point. No, so colon is the point. differentiating. So what is the start and what is the end is excluded or included. So if you understood, let me ask one question. So see, again, I'm trying to say here actually Pragyan is the thing. So now if I have to access only GAN, what should be the value I should be giving? So if I'm trying to access only GAN, what should I give here? What should be the start value? Anybody is listening? You can type into chat box. I just wanted to type print GAN, GYAN. What should be the start value? You guys are there or not? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So what would be the start value if I have to print GAN? Three to 7. Okay. Okay, let me see that actually. If what is any other answer? See, 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 is the starting point. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So up to 6 we should be, but like 7 is the end. So 3 to 7 is perfectly right. So I'm trying to do. So if I just wanted to do only AI, the capital AI, what should be the start and what should be the end? How many ways I can write? One is first you tell the normal way, the way you said start and end. So then we'll see how many other any alternative ways we can write. Anybody can answer? Only AI I wanted to print. Any answers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a space. Correct? Yeah. So 8 this way also is fine, or okay, this way it will print the thing, or and 8 this is 8, 9. So you can say 10. So this way you can also say, or else you can skip it, or the other way is actually -1 to -2. Okay, so okay, you are people already know what is the -1. Okay, so it's fine. -1 to -2 or -3. Okay, let me try -1 to -2. So this is what you are getting. Correct. Hmm? Hmm? Hello. Okay, so the other way around, see, one way around, what we looked into is actually we looked into positive indications, like so P so P R A G Y A N and AI. So that is a positive thing. So how is that actually? Like it will start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7. This is 8 and 9. So now if there is also negative nomenclature, so the negative I cannot start with 0 because 0 is already consumed here. So then I should be starting -1 and -2, and this is -3, and this is -4. So -4. So now if you have wanted to print this, how should be? How should be this one actually? What is the start position? Start position is -2. And what is the end position? -1. Correct? Or you can leave it actually. So whatever, like, so what I'm trying to say actually, you should be knowing positive, and even you should be knowing the negative thing. So these are the way you can cut. This is accessing is called string slicing. Okay. So positive and negative also we discussed. This also we discussed. Okay, fine. So string immutable also we discussed. And okay. So any questions so far? So far, any question? Okay, so inbuilt functions to discuss. Okay, next thing is so string also supports other operators. Like, so we looked into plus and star. We also there is also other kind of operators are supported. So what is that actually like in the C? It is very difficult to compare two strings. So string 1 and string 2 is something that like how to compare, but it is here. It can access any of those what is called logical operators, and it will do. So for example, if string 1 is a green and string 2 is a blue, so whether these two are same or not, so you can use the logical operators like equal to, greater than, or lesser than. So it can give the result. So for example, if I give again, see, instead of blue, both, if I give green, so both are equal, correct? Automatically it will say that like both are same. So it's like string not only just like, so you are not doing element by, if it was not there, so how should we have done in the C programming? So first element, see, this is string 1, something that like a green, and string 2 is something like a green. So then now what it will do, so I should be starting this position for string 1 and this position for string 4. These two letters are same or not? Okay, then again I will be going for next letter, next letter, next letter. It's like till this end of string. So much like this whole loop you should be writing and you should be comparing. But here it is pretty easy. So what I'm trying to use, I am trying to use proper logical operators. So both are equal or not. So equal statement. This is equal. Or they both are equal. One is greater than or less. How it will come to one is greater than or less? So same way, what you do. So first letter and first letter. So if first letter ASCII value, first ASCII value. And if both are same, okay, then second letter, and if second letter is B, so ASCII value of this and ASCII value of this. So first is same, but second is, this one is greater. So this is greater and this is less, correct? So this is how it will do. And how can you do this comparison? Whether greater or less function, you can logical operators, you can use it. In this case, like for example, if say green, R E instead of E, F. So if I say F here, F is higher than E, correct? So if you do that, actually you can do. So which one is the greater? The second one is the greater, correct? So second one is the greater. So you can use this logical operator, equal to, greater than, less than, all those things, and you can compare. So this is another what is called good feature of Python programming. Any question here? So logical operators using, anybody has? So you can use like, so this is equal to, this is not equal to, this is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So any question? These are all comparator operators you can use. So how it will compare? ASCII values. Like what is ASCII values, you already know, correct? This is ASCII value. So it will do. So I just explain with one example. So I also extended something. So one by one. So these two are equal, these two are equal, but where exactly? So if hello, any question? Hello, please mute. Okay, so any other questions? Anybody is not understood? So what all things we covered? Anybody is not understood? So string inbuilt function, string concatenation, operator, string slicing, and how string is immutable, string comparison. Any questions so far? Okay. The next thing what we can look into is actually string formatting. So we saw one formatting, output formatting. So using dot format. So we will see another operation, a way of doing formatting that. So what is that? Actually using percentage. So wherever you wanted to print something, like, so for example, in this case, my name is percentage s, means like when I say percentage s here, means like I should be printing one string value here, and E is secured percentage D. So when I say percentage D here, means like I should be printing one numerical value. Then marks in Python. So if you see here, actually, like there is no comma. So usually like there is no comma here, but here the percentage means like what wherever you said the percentage is a placeholder. This is a placeholder for string, this is a placeholder for number. And now I said is percentage after this string is done. Now I am trying to create a bracket. In the bracket, I am trying to represent, there is one element, one number placeholder, another number. So first is a string, so I'm supplying string. Second is the number, so I'm supplying number. So like this, this will go here, this will go here. Like for example, if I'm trying to show here example, so in this case, my company name is one placeholder here, percentage S, and it trains students in another percentage S, another string, and takes money after students get placed. Here another after gets another string. So and here there is no comma, and this percentage is there, and the starting bracket. First, what is the what is the element I'm trying to give? So first, my company name is, here I need Pragyan AI, so I'm supplying Pragyan AI, and it trains the students in. So here I should be saying data science and AI. So second element is data science and AI, and it takes the money after students get placed. See here placed has to be there. Like so, third element is placed. Actually, the third element is the placed at higher paying jobs. So if you see here, actually, like automatically it will take. So you see the company name is Pragyan AI, and it trains the students in data science and AI, and takes money after students get placed at creates a high paying jobs. So this is how this is called, what is called is actually formatting the string. So I'm trying to format the strings using the format operator. All these are format operators, you already know, correct? In C you would have already used it. These are called format operators. If with that you should be saying if S is a string, D is number digits, so float, so you all these values already know. Percentage S means like that is a string value you will be printing. Percentage D means like numerical digit integer will be printing. Percentage F means like float. So like that you already know, correct? And also like in the last thing also we discussed percentage with instead of just saying S, actually if I say 10, so means like only 10 letters. So you instead of percentage just saying F, if I say 3.2, so means like before digit 3 elements, after digit 2 elements. So like that also, these are all formatting operators, you know, correct? So how I'm using here, so the thing is like actually like in between I want to print something, so I'm using that one. So one thing is, a lot of people do mistake is here there is no comma. So after this one there is directly percentage and then bracket and the elements you are trying to provide. Any question here? Anybody has not understood this? So string format, anybody is not understood? Okay, so you can do anything. So I'm just using SSS, you can use any other element. Fine. So string functions and methods, like we already discussed. So length and min and max we discussed, and few more we'll discuss. Like so, a few more important one we'll be discussing. So something like capitalize. So what is a capitalize? So capitalizing the element actually, like so whatever the element. No? So there is so many things we can do. So say for example, if I supply something that like a Satish. So if I say that like everything I should be making upper, then use a function called upper. So means like everything will become something like this. All elements, letters will become uppercase letters. So if you want to do lowercase, then there is something like a lower is another thing. So lower is another function. So what happens? This S also becomes small case. So everything will become 7. And if I say title, title means like first letter of a thing will become capital. Like so, title is actually like first letter of any statement, any till full stop, like whatever is there, that is what you will be doing. So like that, there are capitalized, lower, upper, title. Swap case is actually something that like see assume that like I have S is small letter, T is small letter, A is small, S is capital, A is small, and T is small, correct? So if you say swap the case means like S becomes small, A becomes capital, T becomes capital. So it's like whichever lower will become upper, whichever upper will become lower. That is swap the case. You can do easily like using the swap the case. And there is one more something called a replace. What is the replace? So string replacement, correct? So if you are trying to say that like replace, like so in something that like in that actually you wanted to replace this, so any T or like any element, you can do that actually. So we will go one by one. Like for example, in this case, like I'm trying to give an input. So we discuss about how to get the input. So I'm trying to give input something like this. So now I'm trying to do first is actually capitalize. So already it is a capitalize, S is already capital, correct? So when I'm trying to say lower, so everything is become lower. So when I say title, so first element is capital, so already it is there. So same thing. If I say swap case, S is capital, so it will become small, rest all is capital. And replace, what I'm trying to replace actually, instead of just Satish, I'm trying to say welcome to then Satish. So welcome to Satish. So something like, so the Satish is replaced by this. So whatever the way you wanted to replace. So this is how you can, and this is a pretty easy, so I'm not doing any code, correct? I'm just using the functions provided, inbuilt functions provided, or methods provided for the strings. So no code. So you should, because these are all very, very common things. Converting into lower, like why should we do? So because we already know, no. So instead of like if you are trying to compare if two strings are same or not. So somebody has somebody typed everything in capital, somebody has typed everything in small letter. So for example, you have trying to take a student's information who was enrolled for certain kinds. Some people will be repetitively writing things, but you wanted to say that like how many different people, like, so for example, same somebody initial one time he has entered with Satish, and second time he has entered with all capital. So but if you just use a normal string thing, so both are different because ASCII values, correct, ASCII values are different, but both are of same name. So I should, what I should be doing, everything I should be either doing lowercase, either everything I should be doing uppercase, and then seeing that like name of this any duplicate are there. So that those kind of operations you should be doing either everything small letter or everything capital letters. So for these all these kind of operations, so no need to write any code. So already pre-built functions are there. You can leverage these. So already pre-built functions are there, you can use. So these are all essential things are there, already there in the Python. Any question here? Okay. So what is the other set of functions? There is other set of function is formatting thing. What is a formatting thing? So you already know, like if you already know the doc thing, so there is something like a rest justified. Justified is something like this actually, like if you are seen, or left side justify something that like, so let me show you in Word document, like let me open in Word document. So it will give those kind of operations, like you can justify or you can do all those operations. See, for example, if I'm using in a doc file, so if I use a doc, then now if you see here actually I have written something. So all this format is something that, like, see if you see here actually, so this is justified, this is left aligned, this is center aligned, this is right aligned. So same thing if you wanted to do, there are the functions here. So center means like whatever the string you are trying, it will be centered aligned. So something similar to this actually. This is a centered, this is centered. So you can do using centered. So L just is actually it is left justified, R is right justified. And so using this L just, R just, center, you can do all those kind of formatting, string formatting. So if you wanted to see that like how it exactly it looks like, so if I do these elements, so what I'm trying to use actually, I'm trying to use 20 elements, like so 20 characters, like so. Let me go again here. So now what is that actually, I have given 7 characters, but what is the space I have allocated? So this is 20 line length actually. So this is 20 characters. It can fit into 20 character. If I say left justified, so means like it will start from here. So I say TWESS to start. If I say right justified, means like H will be there, S will be there, E T yes, so this is the right justified. If I say center justified, means like it will be center, like so what this is a center element, correct? So this side 3, this side 3. So T is a center here. So E is a center, and T A S and E S H. So something like that. This is how center justified. So automatically it will do at upper alignment. So if you see here actually this is center, so it has given some space here and some space here, and left aligned is actually it starts from that, right aligned is actually this end. So you can do all those kind of operations on the string. So this is called formatting of the strings. Any question here? Any questions? Any questions? So is it simple, correct? Python is giving a lot of functions, correct? So you can do all this. These are basic, all the basic things now already pre-built are there. So you can use those pre-built and you can speed up writing the programs. So all the basic essential things are there. So some kind of functions. So any questions here? Okay. The one more thing most commonly used is stripping. Like, so somebody something like, now why the stripping is necessary? Something like somebody is written Satish here, and then somebody is entered with a space and Satish. So when you try to compare these two, this space is also a ASCII character, and this also is a different space. This is a string, and this is also string. But if you see, human can identify both are same. This Satish and this Satish is same. Even though type S capital, everything is same. Here also everything same. But somebody has entered some kind of a space here, because space is also a letter, correct? So if you see the length of this string, this will be 7. So if you see length of this string, so it will give 8. And these two are different. But when I can read, actually both are same. So why? Because there is something like a unwanted spaces are there. So we need to remove those spaces, correct? That is called stripping the unwanted thing. So I will be stripping that. So then there are predefined functions are there. Left strip is actually left side. So means like this is left side, correct? In this case, this is left side. So any spaces here, where was it actually? So this is left side. This is left stripping. So I have to remove this. Right stripping means like if spaces are there in this side. So left and right stripping, like, so all these functions are there. Left strip, right strip, and strip. Strip is like both side. Any space, both side will be removed. So after removing that, actually like both will be same. So if I remove this, no, then the length of this and length of this will be same, 7, 7, and both are same. So these are pre-built, because these are very, very generic kind of operations, and no need to write your own code. So that is the reason functions are there. Any questions here, like L strip, right? See, name also, if you see, no, the letter L means left, R means right, strip means stripping that. So just strip means like, I'm not saying neither left or right, so it is both side. And even if you see the function name here, so center is center justified, L is left justified, R is R justified, justify, no. So JUST IF TIFY was not, FY is not there, R is right. So short, like, so all these are, I said, no, in Python is very, very easy to understand and remember also, because pretty English way, no. So right, justify, we already know, only R I used and just I have used. So it's very easy to remember also. Any question here? Any question here? Okay. The other thing, what I will be ending with a few more things are there. So other thing is actually is alphanumerical or is alpha, is digit, is other kind of set of functions. What it will do is actually is digit. When I say is digit, so whether whatever you are passing is a digit or not. So for example, if I pass something that like 2 here, is it a digit or alpha number? So if it is a digit, it will say yes. If it is not digit, it will say no, true or false. So all these is kind of functions are checking whether true or false. The return value is either true or false. Is alphanumerical means like whatever you are passing is alphanumerical kind of string, then yes. Is alpha string means like all alphabet are there, then it is yes. Is digit means like all digits. So is lower, is upper, is space. So these are all will give those kind of functions, like, so those kind of results. Then other kind of functions is actually so instead of string search, no, so string search, so there is a pre-built are there. Start with means like whatever the string you are providing, whether it is starting with yes or like whatever it may be. So you will look for those start with, end with. So these are the functions, like the already pre-built functions are start with, end with. Means like that string is started with So if it started with some character, whatever you are looking for, end with some character, or you wanted to see that like whether that substring is there or not. So looking for substring in that string. So find is a function, and you should be providing which string you are wanted to find. And count is how many times that letter is there or something is there. So if you wanted to see the example, so I will try to show an example. So here I'm trying to give in a string. So also something that like welcome. If I say welcome Pragnan, if I'm trying to say Pragnan. So now what I'm trying to say is actually like I'm trying to do all these operations. What all those operations I'm trying to do? Let me do that. So now first is actually whether it start with WEL. So since welcome is that, no, welcome will start with WEL. So it is true. And because then ends with the question mark. No, it doesn't ends with question mark. So it's false. So whether it has something like GY and GAN. So it is there actually. It is there the GAN. GAN is at element 11th. So it is saying find the GAN at the 11th element. So if you see here actually 1, 2, 3, welcome is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 is a space, 9, 10, 11. So it's like automatically it says that like where exactly that substring is started. And how many times A is there? It says actually how many times is there? So 2 times A is there. So all these things like find count is how many times that element is there. So count for the string dot count. So this is a string name, whatever I'm trying, and count A. So how many times that element is there. So these are the pretty simple functions. Like so, what I'm what I'm trying to do is actually whatever the string. So this is I have assigned a string. So assume that like whatever the string is there. So you can do all those operations. How to do this? What if I say dot and the method, whatever the method you are calling. If it is a count method, then what I'm trying to see is actually in count method, I'm trying to give what element you should be counting. So then it will give how many times this element is there in that string, whatever you are looking for. So and this is operating on that string, correct? So count is operating on this string. So how many times this A is there in that string? So it will give. So these are the basic kind of functions provided by Python. So any question here? So here I end here. Like so, if you don't have questions, because pretty easy. So if you have any doubt, let me know. I hope you understood strings very well. If you have any questions, let me know. So, Sagmesh, are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can start the quiz.
Okay, okay. I share the link. Kindly join with that link. Otherwise, you can directly go joinmyquiz.com and put this code. One joined.